Soon pull the trigger that kills your son, masturbates to memory. Love you.
The way these killers showed no remorse to the victims' families will send chills down your spine. We begin with our first case, Camia Gamut.
I just want to tell y'all, I'll be home soon. R.I.P. Keon, I love my family.
This is Camia Gamut. The 31-year-old was in court for the murder of 38-year-old Marcel Hills, her boyfriend, who lived in Michigan with her. On May 18, 2013, Gamut murdered her boyfriend in a fit of rage. Thanks to information from a concerned neighbor, 911 was alerted of the incident. But by the time they got to the scene of the crime had already been committed. When police officers returned at the scene of the crime, they found the place in total disarray. The furniture was smashed, a lamp was broken, and there was a bloody knife and frying pan covered in blood. They also found Camia covered in Marcel's blood, with Marcel lying lifeless, having been stabbed a whopping 11 times. Camia was immediately arrested and charged with murder. Her woes had ultimately began. Camia is now taken to court to face the music of her actions with a lot of evidence against her. But what Camia would say next shook the whole courtroom to its core.
The trial, the way I was portrayed, mostly everything was lies. There was a little bit of truth, but mostly I was convicted off.
At this juncture, the judge abandoned his professional demeanor and let emotions guide his actions. He openly criticized Camia, even going as far to share the same animosity towards her that the victim's family felt.
You stabbed until he was dead. You didn't think he was an intruder. Maybe one stab wound, okay. Maybe that's self-defense. But you put in 11 more to make sure he was good and dead. So I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well. If this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair.
Eventually, the jury found Camia guilty of first-degree murder, sealing her fate with a life sentence without the possibility of parole. The judge, visibly shaken, declared it one of the most chilling and cold-blooded murders ever. Well, maybe he was wrong. In the heart of Portland, Oregon, a chilling and tragic incident unfolded on May 26, 2017, that would leave an indelible mark on the community. Jeremy Joseph Christian fatally stabbed 2 men and injured a third after he was confronted for shouting racist and anti-Muslim slurs at black teenagers. The victims of the tragic event were Rick John Best, Micah Fletcher, and Allison Miridin Namkai Meche. As the train traveled its route, Christian, known for his white supremacist beliefs, began spewing hate-filled rants targeting 2 young women, one of whom was wearing a hijab. The 3 victims courageously intervened, attempting to de-escalate the situation and protect the woman from Christian's vitriol. In a sudden and brutal escalation, Christian pulled out a knife and attacked them. After the heinous act, Jeremy could be seen exiting the train station in a hurry, as though he understood the trouble coming his way. Christian was arrested shortly after the attack and charged with multiple counts, including 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. During his first trial, he displayed erratic and aggressive behavior, often showing no remorse, especially to one of the victim's family members during her impact statement.
And when you die and go to hell, I hope you rot.
See you there.
No, hey.
Go back to Tennessee too.
What did I tell you?
Go back to Tennessee too.
You can.
We don't want you here.
Fine,
All your race hating bull. You ain't gonna be mayor either. You ain't gonna be mayor either.
While being led out of the courtroom due to the outrage, Jeremy made a most shocking utterance to the victims' family members.
I should have killed.
On June 24, 2020, Christian received 2 consecutive life sentences, one for each first-degree murder charge without the possibility of parole. Additionally, he was sentenced to 51.5 years for related offenses. If you enjoy our content, please consider showing some love by liking and subscribing to our channel. Think you've seen it all? Wait till you see the next case. It all happened on August 2016. A terrible incident occurred in Ann Arbor that sent a shockwave through the community. It was the first chilling homicide to strike Ann Arbor in 2016. 18-year-old Jordan Klee was supposed to be attending classes when he was attacked in a robbery by Danto Wright and his 2 friends, with Wright killing him in the process.
And as a result of that armed robbery, what did you do with that gun in Mr. Jordan Klee?
Shot him
And where did you shoot him?
on the top of his head.
And did you kill him with that shot?
Yes.
Soon enough, Wright appeared in court, and in what seemed to be a tail-twisting pre-trial, the mother of the deceased was tasked with giving her victim impact statement, which she was unable to do. But 2 notable events occurred while she was being assisted with giving the victim impact statement.
I have the hope of having grandchildren. I've lost the enjoyment of holidays and birthdays and of everyday life.
After the victim impact statement, Wright was tasked with making a remark before proceedings could continue. But what he said shook the entire atmosphere of the courtroom, causing raised eyebrows.
I just want to tell y'all, I'll be home soon. R.I.P. Keon. I love my family.
Alarmed by the behavior and remarks of Danto Wright, the judge stops the proceedings and asks the jury to consider taking the case to trial, where Wright, if found guilty, would spend an eternity behind bars. He was expected to be formally sentenced in July, whilst the other 2 people charged in the case are pleading guilty for their involvement in the crime. You are not ready for this next case. On February 27, 2012,
Chardon High School, we had shots fired, gunshots, multiple gunshots. 911.
Chardon High School, we need police up here. There's someone in the building with a gun.
Chandon High School in Ohio urgently contacted the police department regarding a shooting rampage underway, perpetrated by an individual identified as T.J. Lane. T.J. Lane, aged 17, reportedly singled out the school cafeteria for his shooting spree, resulting in the deaths of 3 students and leaving 3 others severely injured and requiring medical attention. Lane was ultimately apprehended and faced numerous charges, including felonious assault, 2 counts of aggravated murder, and 3 counts of attempted aggravated murder. It appeared that Lane was facing a significant time behind bars. One might have expected that being arrested would evoke some remorse in T.J. Lane. However, this was not the case. Lane appeared in court wearing a white shirt with a written tag indicating his new identity. With an air of suspense, Lane's actions hinted that the beginning was just a prelude to a darker revelation. He brazenly gestured towards the parents in the court, setting the stage for a shocking statement that would ignite not just the courtroom, but the entire nation.
Saying pull the trigger that killed your son, masturbates to memory. Love you.
The parents of one of the deceased children stood in disbelief, shaken by Lane's apparent lack of remorse, especially given the heinousness of his actions. One could almost feel the weight of their expectation, hoping that perhaps, just for a moment, Lane might show some semblance of humanity. However, what followed was a reaction so unexpected, so chilling, that it would become the most defining moment of this video, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats.
I hate you for the pain you have caused, Nick. You chased him down the hall and fired the last bullet that paralyzed him. You're lucky I have to read this because I'd be staring at you the whole time. Why? Why did you do it?
The parent of Nick, one of Lane's unfortunate victims, seizes the opportunity to address him, only to be met with Lane's utterly outrageous reaction.
What do you want? Why would you want to hurt him? You don't know kind. I will have to eventually forgive you. Otherwise, you will haunt me. You will never, ever be in my thoughts after this.
Owing to the severity of the crime, T.J. Lane is handed a verdict of 3 life sentences without a possibility of parole. Just when you think you've seen it all, we give you a most shocking end to this video. Ronnie O'Neill is a double homicide suspect living in Riverview, Florida.
If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not.
Ronnie O'Neill, 29-year-old father of 2, lived with his girlfriend in Riverview, Florida. However, in a shocking turn of events, O'Neill committed a series of horrific acts which altered the very existence of his household. 911 received a distress call from his girlfriend, who was clearly distraught. A couple of minutes later, 911 received another call, and you wouldn't believe who was at the end of it. It was O'Neill.
911, what is your emergency?
Hey, I just been attacked by some white demons inside Kiki. Kiki, her name is Kiki, and she tried to kill me.
What's she at?
O'Neill was eventually cleared to represent himself in court, but his next line of action shocked onlookers and the court at large. Following his interrogation, O'Neill made a startling accusation against the court and then admitted to killing his girlfriend. The complexity of the case was so profound that the judge deemed it the worst case she had ever encountered.
I did kill Kenyatta Band.
This is the worst case ever in my life, and I have seen some horrors.
Despite the gruesome murders of his girlfriend and daughter and his near-fatal attack on his son, O'Neill displayed no remorse in court, openly declaring that he was not sorry.
I am not sorry for something I didn't do, and I am not sorry.
Ronnie O'Neill was sentenced to 3 life terms, plus 90 years without parole. His son was subsequently adopted by the detective who had rescued him on the day of the tragedy. Stay tuned and turn on post notifications for the next jaw-dropping episode. And please, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.